drink, please? And I'd say have one yourself, but you've got a face like a slap derriere. What's up, eh? Does my sunny disposition offend you?
Nope, I can just afford my own drinks, Tar.
Do you know what? Can I just say, with attitude like that, you wouldn't last 2 minutes at the Chariot Square Hotel.
Who does? Word on the street, you change your staff money, you change your underwear.
You cheeky beggar!
Listen, Ryan is my mate, okay? And he's done a lot for me.
What's going on here? Are you all right, love?
Right, what is this, eh? National Have a Pop at Debbie Day?
Talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
Hello and welcome to episode 366 of the Talk of the Street, an unofficial Coronation Street catch-up podcast that's got to wonder who's in control of the appointment book at the community centre. I'm Gavin.
And I want to know why all the shades are drawn in the community centre. That doesn't feel very community-based, does it? To have all the shades drawn so nobody can see what's going on inside?
It's a secret community centre.
It's a secret community centre.
Go woke, go broke. That's what she said.
Yeah, who's doing the scheduling and how are they keeping this from Yasmin? Oh, that's right. She sold the community center. I keep forgetting that. Who's running that place?
It's gone to the dogs.
It has. Ugh.
Anyway, this is all prime content.
It is.
So let's skip to the pleasantries. How are you this week?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I've been enjoying a week where I'm not only cataloging auctions, I'm also pricing art.
Auction talk.
I'm not only cataloging auctions, I'm also pricing art for estate sales and writing up and making up fancy tags for the art for the estate sale because that's something I do now.
A jack of all trades.
I am, or a Jane, as it were, of all trades.
Jack can be a woman's name.
It can't.
Yes, it can. Alex Rider's guardian was Jack Starbright, and she was played by Alicia Silverstone in the movie. So that's that settled. We got some correspondence through the week. And
really?
And I can't find who it came from, and I think it might have disappeared, but the gist of it was someone wrote in, one of our friends of the podcast, I believe, wrote in to say, Helen, your job sounds so interesting and cool. What's your background that got you into that?
It is interesting and cool. My background is that I'm interesting and cool. No, my very first job working in an auction house was at the ripe old age of 18, where I was one of the girls that picked things up and held them up at the front of the auction house.
A showgirl.
For people, yes. A girl in tight jeans in the 1990s holding up Grandpa's
Long Johns
suit, beer stein collection, and waving them around so men would bid more money.
Now, you mentioned jeans. Were there boobs involved?
Have you seen them?
Just clarifying for the listeners. Well, that sounds wholesome.
Have you seen them?
That sounds wholesome.
Yeah, it was wholesome until, the auctioneer's wife didn't appreciate how much he enjoyed looking at me.
Oh.
And I lost my job. But that's
sold.
That's another story. That's a story for a different time. But yes, I've been interested in collecting antiques from even longer than that. It comes from my grandmother taking me to yard sales and antique stores and things from a very, very early age. God rest. And also I have a degree in English, so I'm very good at writing copy. If anybody wants any copy written about stuff other than antiques and art. And my English degree also helps me with knowing a lot about books. And also I worked in libraries for many, many years. And my very first library job was at the Mashantucket Pequot Museum and Research Center.
You just made that up.
in Mashantucket, on the Mashantucket Pequot Reservation, right next to the Mashantucket Pequot Casino, known throughout the world as Foxwoods. To which my daughter says, "What's a foxwood?" This is a family joke. I apologize for talking about it in joke. But
I
yes.
don't know it's that wide a family joke because I didn't get it.
Really? Because you were in the car when she said it. And we all looked at her like, what are you talking about? What's a foxwood? We just drove by there.
No, I've no memory of this.
You have... Yes, but...
Oh,
This
more.
particular library is where I learned the different parts of a book, the care of a book, the importance of antique books and stuff. And it was during the time of my employment there that we were involved in purchasing a Bible from Sotheby's that was the first published piece written in the Mashantucket Pequot language. So yes, that is the early basis, and then I've just been fiddling with it ever since, collecting and selling antiques and learning about things and reading about things. And I also love art, as Gav will attest, because on every vacation I drag him into an art museum at least once during the vacation. It's one of the things that we do. It's art museums and the world's largest things.
Do you know what other things we do?
Antique shops.
With Preamble, my dear. We have a hellish amount to get through. So I fear we must draw a veil over your history of antiquing and move on to the Preamble section of our podcast.
But how was your week?
Nobody cares. Nobody's writing and asking me saying, Gav, your job sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Tell us your background.
Tell us more about spreadsheets.
I would, but I fear that you are taking the piss. So, shall we preamble, my dear?
Yes, please.
Give us some of that antique Corrie news.
Former Corrie actor Tony Peters has passed at the age of 78. He played Gary Mallett's father, Peter, as well as an unnamed delivery man and an unnamed dealer. I don't even know what he was a dealer of. I'm assuming drugs.
Yeah, a vague memory.
A vague memory.
A vague memory.
Yeah. But apparently he was a legend for being a comedian afterwards.
Yeah, doesn't make it any less sad.
And other stuff, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Yes. Coronation Street fire safety advisor Matt Owens has also died, unfortunately, at the age of 38, which is far too young.
Oh, yikes.
Yes. He was involved in many of the fires we have seen on the show in the past 10 years.
Right.
Yes. And was apparently a good friend of Anthony Cotton, a.k.a. our Sean, who wrote a touching tribute to his friend on the day of the funeral this week.
Oh, that's very sad.
It is very sad. That's too young. Far too young.
You know, and in recent years, the way that they've portrayed fire on the show has, I think, been pretty impressive.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Very sad. And finally, we weren't the only ones to notice the miraculous healing of Ryan's face last week. We are not alone, Gav. We are not alone.
It's good to be seen.
It's good to be seen and heard. Oh.
And felt.
I think you're taking it too far
And
now.
touched.
No. Also pointing out the fact that Jack's leg has miraculously grown back. It was especially egregious this week. Jack using both of those knees as if both of his legs are actual legs.
Well, his leg was amputated below the knee.
Right, but still, the way that it... Never mind. And also the fact that Betsy was wearing a halter top at the party less than a month after she got shot in the shoulder, and there's not even a scar, much less any wounds. And let's all not forget that she was shot so badly that they thought she may not regain the use of her arm, and yet not a scar.
It's like Trump's here. No politics.
And that's...
No politics.
He's in Scotland right now.
He is. And apparently Scottish people have been shitting in the holes of his golf club.
Nice. Nice. I love the Scottish people. Did you see the cover of the National?
I did.
Yes. Yes. God bless you, Scotland. Everyone. And rest in peace, Janie. We all wish you were still here.
Well, we finished the Corrie news section on a reasonably controversial note, but either way, it takes
I don't
us
think that's controversial.
Well, I know I raised it,
Right, yes.
but we don't do politics in this show, and that's what people like about it. Anyway,
Moving on.
everyone's a critic. Physical mail.
Oh, we got physical mail?
We got physical mail.
What is that?
It's a postcard with
It looks like a piece of fried chicken.
it's a wood carving.
Oh, a fried chicken?
It says, "Be industrious and self-sufficient as the homesteaders were, as wise old chief Adonis Alexis surveys his memories, so must we, too, treat our fragile planet with great respect. Above all, our individual cultural differences and personal faith should be nurtured." Quote attributed to Peter Rodseth. And it's a wood carving. It's a very long wood carving.
Yes, which is why I thought it was fried chicken.
Because long wood carvings look like fried chicken?
Yes, especially if they're this color. I see a horn of plenty. I see an elk. I see trees. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Do you want me to read this?
No, you have it now, so crack on.
Almost 40 feet across. This is impressive. They are, of course,
That's a wood carving.
They were, of course, speaking about the wood carving and not part of Gav's anatomy.
40 feet would be, I'm going to say, too much.
And I would agree. Hello! Vanderhoof is my hometown. Interesting trivia. It is the exact geographical center of British Columbia. Oh, good. Canada.
I love this centre of things.
Yes. It is the subject of the song Summer of 69. Jimmy Valance, who attended high school with me, co-wrote this with Bryan Adams.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I love that song. Thank you for your podcast. Love, Michelle. Oh, thank you, Michelle.
Thank you very much, Michelle.
This is actually lovely. I kid about the fried chicken thing. I think everything looks like fried chicken.
You hungry? Is my head like a ham right now?
No.
Is it like a fried chicken?
It's like a fried chicken, yes.
There we go.
Yes. Oh, ham. That was the thing that I remember about Meet the Osbournes the most, is when they threw that ham into their neighbor's backyard.
Oh, thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
Very
We do
much
love
appreciate
physical
getting
mail.
postcards and physical mail.
And learning about Bryan Adams.
And also 40-foot wood carvings.
And British Columbia.
And the centre of things.
Right.
All that stuff
We haven't-
and more
we
from
haven't-
Michelle. Thank you very much.
We haven't been to British Columbia yet.
No,
We have to get there soon.
Ontario, that's it.
That's it. That's it.
We need to do something
Well-
about that. Anyway, moving on. Gary writes in, "Well done, Gav. Awkwardly talking about money on the podcast like a true Scotsman."
Amen to that, brother.
Hey, I do that every week. And I get through it by essentially memorising my spiel so the words lose their meaning.
It's worse when he's off camera or off mic. Off mic.
Everything's worse. Thank you, Gary. Aileen writes, talking about Mick from last week, "This storyline had shades of a real escape from Wandsworth Prison back in 2023. If only Mick was spying for Iran." And that's true. Now we got a few messages with the same sentiment. Neve writes, "I'm not British, but it was harrowing to imagine that it's this easy to walk into a school in Weatherfield. I'm a teacher, however, and I was unimpressed by Crawshaw's 'You've already got the job, we're ignoring the hundreds of applications from better experienced teachers' ploy.' Yeah, nobody I think was very impressed by that."
No.
Corrie Posting writes, "Just me that didn't quite understand Aadi's urgency to flog the whiskey. It gets better with age, doesn't it? Sure, it's a pain to sit on the stock, but easy enough to manage." Yeah, was this the kind of point that you were making last week? That didn't really matter if you bought all that much whiskey,
Right.
because you're going to sell it.
You're going to sell it eventually, right?
and it's going to go up in price.
Right.
So you just don't have to buy whiskey for a while.
Right.
And
You're
with
just-
the number of drinkers that are on Coronation Street, you're probably going to get through it fairly quick. Although
Seriously.
Peter's not there anymore.
That's
so
true.
I suppose.
He's on
And-
the wagon. Thank you
it's-
very much.
And it's vodka that seems to be the spirit of choice for people who want emergency alcohol.
Emergency alcohol.
Tina writes, "Really enjoyed the extra content." Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
A spoiler show was a good idea. I'm glad they're bringing in more details about the conversion therapy. That's a story too important to gloss over the details. Very much agree with that. Fiona then writes, thank you so much for the extra pod. Well, thank you, Fiona. I was so worried the exciting news was going to be a new format or some other change to my beloved Talk of the Street, but I couldn't have expected we'd be getting some free stuff. You already give us more than enough for the meagre money, to be honest. I mean, I pay a tenner or something for a Disney Plus subscription, and I don't even watch The Bear anymore. And what am I paying for a Studio Canal sub for the one foreign film I watch a month? That's to say, you're underselling yourselves. But God damn it, looking forward to the classic Corrie recaps especially. And we are very much looking forward to recording those.
And also, if you want to share your Studio Canal sign-in and password, we'll make it worth your while if you feel that guilty. Unfortunately, we already subscribe to Disney Plus.
Then the artist formerly known as Seal My Fridge writes, Dear Scratch and Sniff.
What?
Dear Scratch and Sniff.
Well, you're Scratch, obviously.
I thought I'd be Sniff. Although, as you said that, I was scratching myself.
You were.
I love your podcast. Being an expat living in Adelaide, I listen to you a week in advance of the episodes you so eloquently ramble on about. We're a week behind regular episodes here. I use this to my advantage when talking to my partner, who may by now think I'm some sort of secret scriptwriter. This week I was literally laughing out loud at your responses to the return of Dev, or as you put it, Emergency Dev.
Emergency Dev!
I rarely, actually never, interact with any of the shows I listen to podcasts for about 6 hours every weekday while working, but recently have been compelled to write, firstly to tell you that in the Midlands, Knock Door Run was called cherry knocking, at least in the village I grew up in, which was Whedon, Northamptonshire. I think that we had somebody also mention a cherry something or other.
Yes, to which we also said,
Anyway, keep up the great work. I'm shortly going to buy you a coffee and may even find my way to sending you a couple of stubby holders through the post.
Ooh.
Well, that sounds interesting, doesn't it?
Yes.
Thank you very much, the artist formerly known as Seal My Fridge, for your correspondence this week. I thought I knew who the artist formerly known as Seal My Fridge was, but I don't.
No, because that person's not in Australia.
Right, that was my first clue.
That was your first clue, yes.
Thanks to them, to Fiona, Tina, Corrie Posting, Neve, Aileen, Gary, and our physical mail writer, Michelle.
Yes.
Feedback is always welcome. Send us your thoughts and I'll probably read them out. Get us at thetalkofthestreet@gmail.com, or our DMs are open at Corrie Podcast. So we love it when people write actual letters to us. Send us your proper mail to the Talk of the Street, PO Box 12, Eaton Rapids, Michigan 48827. Please note that we reserve the right to edit feedback, but only in the interests of brevity. Strap yourselves in, folks, as we'll podcast for coffee.
Woo! What?
Friend of the podcast.
We have some new friends of the podcast.
What? Offering extra content made more people sign up to be friends of the podcast?
Do you know, I think you were onto something with that, Helen. Now, normally I like to hit that button for every
I am a marketing
new
expert.
friend of the podcast that we get, but we simply have too many new friends of the podcast. I would be hitting that button so many times.
Yes.
So,
I'm sure once a week is fine.
right.
Yeah.
So imagine that getting played before your name as I read it out. Thank you very much to Anne Greenwood.
Thank you.
Thank you to Trish R.
Yay.
Thank you to Sarah Purbrick.
Muchas gracias.
And thank you to Alison Quinlan, who all signed up on Patreon this week.
Thank you so much, Patreon subscribers.
Thank you very much indeed. On Ko-Fi, thank you very much to Hunker Munker.
Yes. I am so glad Hunker Munker is finally here. Whew.
Hunker Munker writes, because it's on Ko-Fi, you can put a little message for your sign up. Really enjoy your show. Glad to be on board. Looking forward to all the new content. Well, thank you very much, Hunker Munker.
Yes.
Thank you also to Darren.
I am looking forward to you saying Hunker Munker every week.
I think Hunker Munker's looking forward to that as well. Thanks also to Darren.
Thank you, Darren.
Darren writes, the extra content bribe has pushed me over the edge.
Ha-ha.
Now the Talk of the Street is only the second podcast I have ever subscribed to.
Nice.
How many podcasts do you subscribe to, Helen?
None.
Not even this one.
Not even. Well, of course not this one. Why would I be putting money in my own pocket?
And thanks also to the artist formerly known as Seal My Fridge.
Yes! Who is Australian.
Yes.
No. He's not Australian. He just lives in Australia.
Right. I'll tell you something though. Helen, if you have any problems with your fridge leaking and you live in South Australia, check out sealmyfridge.com.au.
Oh, nice.
I'll sort you out.
See,
And that's not a paid message. I'm just saying that because I'm a nice guy.
And here, I thought he had named his fridge after the artist, the musical artist Seal.
Don't.
And maybe when it opens, you hear the dulcet tunes of Kissed by a Rose.
Do you know, I knew you were going to go with that song. Why? Because it's the only Seal song anyone knows.
And because I love Batman.
And also, thank you to Canadian Helen, to Tina W, and to French Helen, who have all upgraded their previous friend of the podcast tiers to give us I think joining the extra tier that is set up.
Very nice. Thank you.
This is absolutely phenomenal, and we really did want to give something for the friends of the podcast who've been with us for a very long time. But I think we suspected we might get a couple more people jumping on with the offer of other content, but I had absolutely no idea the response would be like this. This is phenomenal. So thank you very much indeed to Anne Greenwood, to Tricia R, Sarah Purbrick, Alison Quinlan, Hunker Munker, Darren, the artist formerly known as Seal My Fridge, and Canadian Helen, Tina W, and French Helen. We very much appreciate your support of the show and the podcast. That's remarkable.
Very much so.
And thank you to Cameron from Edmonton for our coffees this week.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Cameron. Cameron writes, every time you mention the Littlest Hobo, I need to buy you coffee. I tried listening to the Littlest Hobo podcast, but I had to stop. You set the bar too high for this type of thing. Well, thank you very much, Cameron. We very much appreciate it.
So there's a Littlest Hobo podcast?
I guess.
That must be a very short podcast.
I wonder if it's called There's a Voice.
Oh, that would be good.
Down the road, maybe.
I think There's a Voice would be better. I don't think we have time to do one.
We don't. But thank you to Cameron, and thank you to all of our new friends of the podcast. The Talk of the Street, this show will always be free on your podcast provider and on the YouTubes. But if you think our show is worth anything more than the time it takes to listen to it, and if you want to show your appreciation, you can buy us next week's coffee by going to ko-fi.com/the Talk of the Street. That's ko-fi.com. And if one show isn't enough for you, you can also sign up to be a friend of the podcast through the same link, where for as little as $2 a month, you can get access to the Talk of the Street Spoiler Alert, our weekly spoiler show, and the Talk of the Street Classics, our monthly review of a classic Corrie episode. All that plus a mention in the closing credits of each and every episode. And if Ko-Fi isn't your thing, we also have a Patreon site where you can sign up to show us some love for the exact same benefits. Sign up to be a friend of the podcast there at patreon.com/the Talk of the Street. But remember, you can always support the podcast for free and get us in front of new listeners by liking, subscribing, rating and reviewing wherever you get your podcasts. And like I said, we're going to be recording our first classic episode probably this weekend, and that'll go live August 1st. And
August 1st.
I cannot wait.
It's going to be fun.
We are going to be talking about episode 1 of Coronation Street from December 1960.
And be very critical of Ken.
Ken does feature quite heavily.
He does. From the very beginning.
So if that sounds like something you want to get access to, then by all means, we have room on our friend of the podcast bench for
you.
more. All right, shall we dive in, my dear?
Yes, please.
Our first storyline this week is our last storyline. So we're going to jump into our second storyline this week, which is Aadi's trauma.
Aadi's had trauma?
Yeah, trauma last week, remember?
When he faked a robbery?
Yeah, something like that. Who cares? On Monday, Dev has now been brought up to speed with the robbery because Emergency Dev's back.
Emergency Dev!
And he thinks that Aadi did the right thing. The most important thing is that Aadi is safe. Gulp, says Aadi.
Yes. Dev is looking fabulous, by the way.
He really is.
I feel compelled to say how great our Jimmy looks.
He really does.
Yes.
It's just good to have Dave back. You
It
miss
is.
Dave.
You miss when he comes back. You realize how much you've missed him.
The show almost isn't big enough for him.
It's true. Remember when we were dreaming up a show, a spin-off show of Coronation Street called The Allahans?
No. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Because they're just so good on their own.
They really are. There isn't a member of the Allahan clan that isn't ranking super high in my list of favourites.
Yes, absolutely. We love them all.
In other news, Dave and Bernie are very excited about their wedding now,
Ooh.
which I'd kind of forgotten about. At the shop, Lauren comes in to apologise again for her racist Kelly tendencies, and she and Aadi decide, after a fashion, that they'd like to go out with each other after all.
Right, and they're very cute with the whole, like, the first year we'll hold hands, and the second year I'll give you a peck on the cheek.
That did sound pretty cute.
It was adorable. Yeah, I am finally warming to Lauren, and I think all it took was a little Aadi.
Lauren's mouth goes up in the corners, which gives a very good impression of something called a smile.
Yes, and see, all she needed was a little Aadi, and then she's smiling, and then I love her now.
She was leaning on the counter with her elbows on the counter and her chin kind of planted on the palms of her hands, and it's a pose that I don't think I ever really expected to see Lauren make.
Yeah.
Because she was just so free and
Relaxed.
just
And
doing
trusting.
something normal.
Yeah. It's a shame that it'll all end with her finding out that it was Aadi who drugged her.
Oh, yeah.
Accidentally.
Yeah. Back home, Aadi's about to confess to Dev about the robbery when Bernie barges in, is shocked by what Aadi's about to say, and quickly tells Dev that the kebab shop's on fire.
This shop is on fire.
So Dev rushes off to check the potato famine in Idaho. Bernie doesn't say what she wants Aadi to maintain the lie for, but it's clear that it's to keep Brody out of trouble, and it's the same reason at heart when she tells Dev to let Aadi do the books, or it'll look like he doesn't trust him, and Dev agrees. So on Wednesday, Aadi and Lauren are brunching in Nina's Rolls when Dev comes in, and during a chat about a golf tournament, Dev tries to make conversation with Lauren and wonders if her dad enjoyed a bit of golf or cricket, like he was a civilised man about town, and then encourages her to eat her brunch. The mention of her dad is enough to Lauren, and she makes her excuses and leaves. Grrr, says Aadi. Dev says he can't be held responsible when Loretta barely says 2 words to him and has a face like a well-scalped arse.
I thought he called her Lynette.
But something like that.
Something like that. But it wasn't Lauren.
But how funny was it when Dev can't remember Lauren's name? It's almost like he wanted to call her racist Kelly.
It's almost like
because Dev would remember Kelly from Kelly's little dalliance with Aadi.
Yes.
So So Dev can clearly see the similarities between the two.
They're both blonde.
Exactly. Aadi thinks Dev has been a snob. Dev doesn't know why all Aadi's women need to have so much baggage. Why can't he date someone stupid and empty for a change? Well done, Dev.
It was hilarious when he was like, someone nice and simple and
maybe not all that smart.
not all that bright. And it's like, wait a second, Dev. What are you saying about Bernie here?
Who has him wrapped round her little finger
Absolutely.
constantly.
Yes.
So Dev goes to the pub and insists on getting to know Lauren, who is at work. Aadi is sent home while the two of them
Have a chat.
have a wee chit-chat. When Dev gets home,
He's furious.
he's not furious, Helen. He's fucking furious.
Yes, he is.
Why is he fucking furious? Because Lauren grassed Aadi all the way up about the party and the drugs. Gulp, says Aadi. Then he gets stuck into Bernie for sanctioning the party and demands to know if there's anything else he should know about. Bernie and Aadi keep stum until Dev nips off for a shite. Bernie and Aadi agree to wait until the insurance comes through before saying anything to the big man. On Friday, Aadi's on the phone to the insurance company and it is bad news.
Uh-oh.
But he covers when he tells Dev that they've agreed to pay out And Dev insists on taking everyone out for a celebratory slap-up binge at Mrs. Miggin's pie shop. Bernie suggests calm, though, until the money is actually in their hands.
And she's going to make a veggie fry-up instead, because that's healthier.
Yeah, I'll do one of my veggie bakes.
Veggie bake?
The festival. The festival? The King's Festival.
Veggie bake? Veggie bake?
Veggie bake. I apologize, Bernie, for saying it was a veggie fry-up. I apologize. A veggie bake does sound healthy.
It was clearly. Veggie bake.
I want to know what she bakes the veggies in. Is it in a pie?
A pig. Privately, Bernie gets it out of Aadi that the insurance won't pay out because he missed a payment.
How does that happen?
It doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't. That's how it happens.
That's the sort of payment that comes out automatically from the account that Dev has set up years ago.
Right.
This is something that comes out of the account.
The general use
The general use account of the shop.
Mm-hmm.
This is not something Aadi has to do every month.
Aadi's not writing a check for no insurance
Yeah.
every month.
No.
But anyway, because this needs to be a storyline, the insurance isn't going to pay out because of that missed payment. Later, Dev is giddy with excitement, which is something to behold. He's heard that Auntie Rani is going to gift them 25 grand on their wedding day. Bernie wastes no time. Let's bring the wedding forward and bring it forward to a couple of weeks' time.
Right, because we need that 25K now.
Dev doesn't know how he's going to pay for stuff but they don't get the money until the wedding day.
Right.
And Bernie says, just throw everything on the plastic and we can square up later.
Yes.
Dev puts up some resistance, but he's easily turned round.
Right, especially when she mentions the wedding night.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Because apparently she's going to do something different that night as opposed to every other night.
Think warm thoughts, Dev. So, shotgun wedding excited Dev bursts into the Rovers to make the big announcement. Privately, Bernie tells Aadi the big idea. She's going to fund the day on the cheap and then give inflated bills to Dev, who'll never know. So she'll skim 6 grand off the top, no problem, so long as she can keep Dev out of the planning. And she also thinks that Aadi should look into the reasons behind him finding all women intimidating. And that's as far as we get with that story.
Oh, that's and that's very interesting, isn't it?
Because Bernie's like, what can you tell me about this Auntie Rani? Oh, she's intimidating. What about me? Am I intimidating? Do you find all women intimidating? And he's like, yes. And he clearly does.
Right, yes. Some
more than others.
More than others. But yes, I mean, he clearly finds his sister intimidating.
Well, his sister's smarter than him.
Yeah, that's true.
And probably more successful in terms of her job.
Well,
you see, a paramedic is more...
That's comparing apples to oranges,
It really
isn't it?
is. But she seems to get far more satisfaction out of her job. So if
Right.
we're measuring
Whereas-
success in a job by how happy you are in it. Although she said, was it last week when the job was getting on top of her a little bit?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, is this going to be them pulling her away from being the paramedic? I hope not.
No, it's going to traumatize her, and she's going to go into the whole PTSD thing because, you know, it's been a few years since it was Asha who went through the whole traumatizing women thing.
Yeah, when she was trying to lighten her skin.
Right, and then also when her boyfriend posted nude pictures of her on the internet.
And then when her boyfriend kicked Seb to death.
Right.
Great to have Dev back.
Yes.
And front and centre this week. There are lots of storylines, or there are at least a couple of storylines this week where it's a bit just bickering and arguing and stuff.
And also icky.
And quite icky. And the Dev stuff, because he was, I'm going to say, he was 115% Dev.
Yes.
For most of the week.
I would say 220% Dev.
Oh, at certain points. Yeah.
Yes.
But it was a nice little light relief from some of the other stuff that was going on. And I am very excited for a Dev wedding in a fortnight.
Oh my God. Yes. Cannot wait. Cannot wait to see this glorious wedding.
And if they're mentioning Auntie Rani,
you know she's going to show up.
Gotta hope that she's going to show up.
She's going to show up, and we're going to see how intimidating she is.
And she's going to be taking fucking names.
Yep. And she's going to have her calculator on her. If she's intimidating and she's giving them a lot of money, I would imagine that she's going to show up and expect to see how much they're spending on things.
Yeah, I don't think
this is not necessarily a spoiler. This is the way that the show treats women of color.
I don't think there's any way that she's shown up and saying, you know what, spend the money as you see fit.
Right.
It's all fine.
If she's going to show up, she's going to be
looking at the receipts,
looking at every jot and tittle.
No, that's what she said. How are you feeling about Aadi and Lauren? Because on the surface, I don't think I was all that taken by it, but I think it does have something.
I like it, but it's like Daisy and Ryan. I like it until I remember what's underneath.
Underneath the tracksuit?
Underneath the, there's this thing, but there's a future trauma underneath it because of the whole drink thing.
Mm-hmm.
Although it is weird because nobody intentionally drugged Lauren. She just picked up the wrong cup.
Mm-hmm.
Which, why would you ever put your cup down in a party when you're a young woman?
Yeah.
Not to victim blame or anything.
No, but there are certain steps that not just women, but women particularly, but everyone should take at a party or in a pub.
Right.
Which is your eyes are on your drink at all times.
And also, let's not forget that, I don't know, somebody drugged her soup.
Oh my God.
A few months ago. Mm-hmm. So one would think that Lauren especially would be very careful about what she's putting in her mouth.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say anything about that. I think the two of them are good. I agree 100% that Aadi is part of the Lauren redemption without redemption, as is Lauren working in the pub.
Yes.
I think Lauren working in the pub.
She was fantastic in the pub this week.
It's great.
I'm so glad that they decided to put her there because I think it has really, really helped that character develop and also become part of the community. Because I think part of the problem is that she was not part of this community.
Agreed.
She was like on the outskirts of this community, and that was not working.
We get to see Glenda and, to a lesser extent, Gemma's wig taking Lauren under their wing.
Yes.
But that sort of character, like a young woman working behind the bar, when you think of Coronation Street over the last 20 years, there's been a character like that.
Yes.
And a character like that is usually a really good catalyst for drama.
Absolutely.
And it puts her into other people's storylines, and it makes her a confidant, and also there's usually a little bit of shenanigans, shall we say, all of which add to the drama. So I think putting Lauren in the Rovers was a great move.
Absolutely.
And I think putting her with Aadi for however long she's there,
yes,
also a great move.
Yes.
All right, shall we move on to the next storyline?
Yes, please.
I would have been shocked if you said no.
I don't know. I kind of could sit here and talk about Aadi and Lauren all night, and also Emergency Dev all night.
Our next storyline is Theo No Sleeves.
Ugh.
On Monday, Theo has lit every candle in the house and called Todd home to get his haul.
Including the very special Elvis candle, which brings Elvis back from the dead, so you never light it.
Is that what it does? Oh my God.
Eileen has that much power over life and death.
Elvis in Weatherfield.
I can see it.
Yeah. So yeah, Todd has
Did we know that Eileen was into Elvis?
I didn't think so. It didn't ring any bells with me. I was surprised as anyone.
She doesn't seem like the Elvis type to me.
And people who tend to be into Elvis will let you know that they're into Elvis.
Yes. Be like Marion, what's his name? The guy who got on her blanket and stuff.
Oh, Ben Shepherd.
Yes.
I'm thinking Carla from Cheers was a big Elvis fan, and she made sure everybody knew about that. So yeah, Todd is put off by Theo lighting Eileen's Elvis candle, but Theo in his vest makes it quite clear that Elvis has left the building.
Aye.
He wants his own place again and is ready for commitment in Todd's bobby. Post-hole, Todd runs into Billy Nina's rolls and brags about all the sex he's been getting and apologises that Billy is on such a dry patch right now.
Yes, because his husband died. What is wrong with you, Todd?
Why is Billy not absolutely furious at that? You've been widowed in the last, 6 months? No.
But
When did
a
Paul
little bit
die?
longer than that. It was
Was it a year?
like February. Was
Wasn't
this year, wasn't it?
No, it was last year.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Time flies so differently.
It's maybe coming up for a year. But still, I'm going to call that recently widowed.
Yes.
Recently widowed doesn't equal dry spell.
Right. No, exactly. And also, how does he know? How does he know what Billy's been getting up to?
Right.
Billy doesn't share everything with Todd.
Todd is proud to announce that Theo is now all in more ways than one, and seems to have come to terms with his sexuality.
Finally.
Later, it's Theo's turn to run into someone in Nina's roles, a fellow builder who likes his woman how he likes his tea, with a spoon. The guy has heard that Theo split up with Danielle and wants all the gossip about the new woman in his life, and Theo plays along, but this is seen by nosy Billy, who's sitting at another table. When the coast is clear, Billy approaches Theo about this, who explains that the builder friend has a mouth like a welly top. Beautiful imagery. And he doesn't want everyone knowing his business. Talking of which, this is none of yours, says Theo, and Billy agrees.
How do you feel about that?
Would it not been Billy's business?
About the argument, well, I just went along with it because it's not his business who I'm sleeping with.
So Theo's saying, this is somebody that I don't care about.
Right.
Why should I care what he knows about me? And I don't really want him to know that I'm gay.
Well, that's a contradiction, isn't it? I don't care what he knows about me, but I don't want him to know that I'm gay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a contradiction right there. If you don't care, then just be honest with the guy. And if you are out, then it doesn't matter that he tells other people that you're out. Right?
All he needed to do, and I know this is Theo we're talking about, but all he needed to do was be a little more creative in his language. When this asshole says, so tell me more about this new woman in his life, all Theo had to say was, there isn't a new woman in my life and it's going to be a long time before there is. That's all he had to say.
And also, how did this guy know about him breaking up with Danielle and supposedly a new woman in his life?
Oh, he'd heard about it on the grapevine.
Yeah, you'd think that the grapevine would say, and the new woman is a man. And it's tough, too, because I don't know if I necessarily approve with Todd saying, oh, Theo's fixed. He's completely out now. We don't need to worry about him anymore.
Because he wanted to get his hole that one time.
Right, yes. And let's not forget that holes begotten before now, and also, and that did not stop him being terrified that people were going to find out that he's gay.
Mm-hmm.
Not the first time. What up? What up, Theo?
Theo and Todd are in the bistro later. When Todd nips off for a shite, Noah appears out of the shadows like a pantomime villain.
Because he is one.
Desperate to save Theo's soul from fiery hell. Here, have a pamphlet and visit us at the community centre tomorrow. Back home, Theo suddenly isn't in the mood for his hole anymore and goes out for a walk, hanging around suspiciously outside the community centre while he fingers his pamphlet.
But not like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
On Wednesday, in Nina's roles, Theo is in a world of his own as Todd tries to make conversation about the potential move. Todd worries that he said or did something to upset Theo, which is something that Todd's doing quite a bit.
Being worried that he's upsetting Theo?
Yeah.
And yet continuing to upset Theo?
It feels like Todd is unable to gauge Theo's mood and also unable to gauge the part that he's playing in Theo's mood and always thinks that it's something that he's done. And maybe sometimes it is, and maybe sometimes it isn't.
Yeah, in this particular case, it's not.
But if he's continually walking on eggshells, it doesn't sound like a huge amount of fun.
No.
Theo has to admit that Noah is back on the scene and explains about the meeting at the bistro while Todd was taking a shite. Todd thinks this is harassment, but Theo no longer wants to talk about it. At home, Todd and George find the pamphlet for the conversion therapy thing at the community centre.
And it's very vaguely worded, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It is very... Somebody sees that on the street, they're going to think that it's like a life coach or something, and then be very shocked when they walk in and see that it's not a life coach.
That's how they get you, though.
Yeah, it's very... It's so they fly kind of under the radar with this whole thing.
And it's playing the percentages.
Right.
People are going to go, and maybe 75% of them are going to go, oh, this is awful, and walk out. But then
Right.
the 25% is going to stay.
Right.
Or the 10% or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And I'm shocked to learn that conversion therapy isn't illegal in the United Kingdom.
Is it legal here?
Yes, it is illegal here. Trump hasn't gotten around to changing that yet. He'll get to it eventually.
Sure. So the pamphlet's in the garbage. Todd tries to call Theo, but Theo is at the community centre looking for Noah. So rather than go to the community centre, Todd goes to the pub instead so that Billy can explain what happened in Nina's Rolls yesterday with the builder mate. At the community centre, Noah and his mates are praying away the gay from someone else when Todd and Billy burst in. There's no sign of Theo, as Noah thinks Billy should know better.
They are standing around a man. They are very close to this man who is kneeling on the ground, and they're all standing around him, and Noah has his hand on this man's head while standing very close to his head while this man is kneeling here.
Gay much?
And they think that this is going to convert, this is going to pray the gay away. Noah is obviously gay.
Obviously.
And obviously has the hots for Theo.
Billy says love is not the devil's work, and when he starts to quote something from the first half of the Bible at Todd, Todd grabs him by the ears and wrestles him to the ground, which is all captured on one of the Charlie Church's phone. He is risen, says Todd when Noah gets up, and their argument continues as he calls Billy a Christian in name only, but then offers them hope. Todd tells him that he wrecks lives, and they're about to come to blows again when Billy pulls Todd off.
Oh, but not like that.
And Noah and all his mates join in because they're all repressed.
Just like that.
On the way home.
Well, but can I just say here? Well, first of all, this was deeply uncomfortable and traumatizing to me. Just the way that this guy is misquoting the Bible and talking, because I have not ever been to conversion therapy, but I have been around people like this in my youth who are horrible and don't seem to understand what the Bible is saying to them. And I thought Billy did quite well in coming back to him about a number of things, you know. And it would have been nice if Billy had said, well, you know, Jesus doesn't say anything about homosexuality in the New Testament. That would have been nice. But, you know, Billy's kind of vague for a vicar.
But I think that's the sort of fact that is well known, isn't it? That when someone quotes Leviticus at you,
right,
that's typically the response to it.
Right. To which I typically say, well, we also don't burn witches anymore. And also Leviticus also says that you're supposed to treat immigrants well and take care of them because you were an immigrant in Egypt. And I don't see you doing any of that, pal.
Leviticus says that?
Leviticus says that.
Oh, he likes to keep his options open, doesn't he?
Leviticus means Book of the Levi, so more than one Levite writing that book.
On the way home, Billy talks Todd into going for a drink before going home to calm the nerves, and Billy has to really work at Todd to get him to go to the pub. At home, George finds Theo weeping on the sofa and offers his shoulder as Theo explains that he's built a life that wasn't for him, but now he can't go back. He says Noah thinks of him as a lost sheep, and he won't rest until he's back with the flock. Todd comes in from the pub, still angry at Noah and concerned for Theo, and he admits to assaulting Noah and thinks that he's let Theo down. Theo is such a mess and doesn't know why Todd bothers, but appreciates having Todd on his side.
And yet is more angry that Todd went to have a drink with Billy.
With his ex. He keeps on referring to Billy as your ex.
Yes.
Billy was Todd's ex 4 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a while.
And then let's explain to Theo why Billy and Todd are no longer together.
Right, yes.
Because there's a story.
Right.
And then Theo will say, why are you friends with this man? Or why is this man friends with you, more to the point?
Right. And why am I with you? Because you sound like a horrible, horrible person.
Right.
To which Todd will say, did I ever tell you about that time that I got a woman pregnant?
And he has told them about that.
This is true.
So, Theo is out getting booze later when he runs into Noah. Theo begs Noah to keep away from the police and don't grass Todd up. But Noah calls Todd an instrument of the devil and says that he saved Theo once and will do it again.
Fuck off.
And refuses to let Theo just live his life.
Fuck
Just
off.
fuck off. Seriously.
Seriously. Fuck off. Isn't there somebody else you can go and try to convert? What is wrong with you?
Seriously. On Friday, the cops arrive at Todd's to speak to him about the assault on Noah, and they drag him away to be interrogated down at the cop shop. So Theo meets George and Nina's roles, and Theo's regretting the whole relationship, which has been nothing but bother for Todd. George suggests organising a treat for when Todd is released. So Todd is finally released and apparently might be charged with a hate crime now.
Which just
That's the worst sort of crime, isn't it, Helen?
blows my mind that the police are even... Because they're like, well, there's nothing we can do because it's not technically illegal. It's like, yes, but it is a hate crime towards the homosexual community. Well, it's not technically illegal, but it is illegal for you to do something to somebody just because they're a Christian. That's not why. It's not because the man is a Christian. Billy's a Christian. Look at him.
Right.
Look at how sanctimonious that man is. He's the most Christian person in the world.
He's a very Christian beard.
Especially if you shove Mike.
Oh, shove Mike. So Theo has...
Did you know while I was watching that episode?
I thought the same thing. This is shoving Mike all over again.
When Todd went after Noah, I said out loud, "Oh no, he shoved Mike." Even though it's Noah, not Mike,
He's
but
wrestled
still.
Noah to the ground.
Noah enjoyed it.
Yeah. Theo has organised a movie night. They're going to watch Magic Mike, and there's a fresh box of Kleenex on the coffee table. Theo makes another play for getting a place of their own, but this seems to put Todd in a mood. But it's not because he doesn't want to move, it's because he's got a text from the police. Because that's how the police communicate with you now, I guess.
Yes.
Tell him that they're going to drop their investigation, but only if he goes on a Charlie Church course to teach him to be less hateful. And that's as far as we get with that this week.
So fucking ridiculous.
Seriously.
The police would not make you do this.
I don't think the police would make you do this.
No.
So I think they would probably charge him with assault.
Yeah, I mean, I think like when kids graffiti swastikas on things, they will do things like this where they have to go and take a course about the horrors of the Holocaust, you know, because apparently it's Jewish people's responsibility to educate people on why the Holocaust is real, but not for something as serious necessarily as assault, you know? But I do want to applaud the show for finally recognizing the existence of smartphones and the fact that they can record video of things that happen, because so many people have assaulted other people on the street the past couple of years and nobody's recorded it.
I think they're starting to get wise to it, because there's a woman later on that's got a smartphone, and I think there's been some use of it in the past, I think.
Yes, fairly recently, but you know, somebody should have had a video running when say Mason took out the zombie knife,
right?
For example, in broad daylight on the street.
I think we're all agreed that Noah is a repressed homosexual.
Yes, self-hating, and obsessed with Theo. How do you think he's going to try to get even closer to Theo somehow?
The two of them...
he gets so close to him.
Mm-hmm.
He gets so... It's like personal space pal. He's like this close to Theo's head and face.
Yeah, you're smelling the tuna on the breath there, aren't you?
Right, yeah. Only, of course, neither one of them eat tuna.
Well, sausage then. Kielbasa. the interesting thing for me, or one of the interesting things for me, in how this Noah is constructed, is the history that he seems to have with Theo, who by all accounts seems to have been a fairly religious person in his youth or earlier in his life.
Right.
And
or his family was very religious.
And Noah was there to convert him back to heterosexuality. What age was Noah when that happened then? Because I see...
It feels like they're kind of the same age.
Yeah.
Like they grew up together. And then Noah was involved in the whole conversion therapy because he's very, very repressed.
Yeah.
So...
But how damaged do you have to be yourself to basically stalk this man?
Right. Yeah.
Who is a grown-ass adult and he's made his own decisions. And whether you believe that he's going to go to hell for that, to chase him down.
Right.
On a number of occasions and basically tell him, I'm never going to let you go until this is sorted, even though everything that Theo was given back is for
leave
him to
me
fuck
alone.
off.
Yeah.
That's stalking.
Yes.
Isn't it?
It is. It is. It absolutely is. And, you know, you'd think that he would be able to find plenty of other gay men to try to convert. And why is it only gay men? Why is he not going after the lesbians?
Because he's not a lesbian.
It's true.
All right, we'll move on to our next storyline, which is Swerapy.
Swerapy?
Swampy?
Swain.
Swallow fans, this is all the Swain you're going to get and all the Carlas you're going to get this week.
Yes.
Swain is down in the dumps about her therapy session while Carla tries to remain positive. Swain, though, is inconsolable and reckons that her career is done. At work, Carla's preoccupied by Swain's mood, and when Michael borrows her laptop, he's shocked to find that she sent a visit request to the prison so that she can visit Aunt from Aunt and Dec. Carla explains...
Wait. Is it Aunt or is it Dec?
Yeah, the wee cute one's Dec. The one with the big forehead. That's Aunt.
The tall one.
Neither of them are tall, I don't think.
Aunt
the taller one.
Aunt is the taller one.
Mm-hmm.
And Dec is the
Aunt's
short
the one
one.
that's on the left. Always on the left.
Aunt is the one who actually stabbed Mason?
Yeah. With his forehead. Carla explains that Swain deserved to know some answers for sure, and she's refusing just to stand by and let her suffer like this.
Wait, hasn't somebody already gone to the prison to try to talk to this
Betsy.
guy about that?
Betsy.
No, but that was Dec. That was the short one.
No, that was Aunt.
You know what? I can't even tell them apart anymore. They've all merged into one conglomerate.
Which has happened in real life.
Yes.
So Betsy went and they wanted money, and then turned out that it was just a wind-up.
Right, yeah, because he didn't know anything.
Right. That's what he says. I don't think I believe that. Michael, who used to be the hotshot designer, calls Carla Mrs. Connor. I didn't like that.
That was weird.
Did you notice
weird. That was weird that he called her Mrs. Connor, because it's just weird. I've never heard him call her Mrs. Connor before. He's always called her Carla. What is going on?
I don't like it.
It was weird. I didn't like it. It's weird. Don't do that again, Michael.
And he tells her to reconsider what she's doing behind Swain's back. Back home, Swain has made dinner. It's her way to say sorry for being such a fucking sourpuss earlier, and she's now decided to focus on getting her career back on track. I hate it when they say, this is my way of saying sorry.
Right, yes.
Making dinner is your way of saying sorry?
She didn't even make dinner. She's like, I've set the table, I've poured the wine, now I'm going to the chippy to buy dinner. And it's a chippy.
This is my way of saying I'm a lazy bastard.
Right, and I don't care about your cholesterol levels.
She heads off to the chippy, and Carla confirms by text to Michael that she's changed her mind and she won't be contacting Aunt from Aunt Dec after all.
Right, yes. So they are friends, so he shouldn't be calling her Mrs. Connor.
His name is Michael in her phone.
Right.
Not Mr. Bailey. Because that's Ed.
Right.
And maybe Sarge.
No, because he's Sarge Bailey. Sergeant
I don't
Bailey.
know why this irked me so much. But,
I don't know either, because it doesn't bother me when Sally calls her Mrs. Connor.
But it feels like there's a level of hierarchy there between the shop floor
Right.
and the manager. I still don't think they should be calling her Mrs. Connor, because that harkens back to, well, when I joined the workforce in the early 90s, you called your boss by their first name. But I think even 5 years beforehand, it was all Mr. and Mrs.
Right.
As a kind of mark of respect sort of thing. But it's 2025, for God's sake.
And her
everyone
last-
should be calling her Carla, because they drink with her.
Right. It's funny because they call her Mrs. Connor at work, but they call her Carla outside of work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird. But it's especially weird for Michael because he doesn't work on the floor. He's one of the salespeople.
Yeah.
So he's like...
And he was one of the designers. He was the guy that was going to take Underworld forward.
Right, because he had like the Mommy and Me clothes, which were really cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like it. It
It
felt
just
really uncomfortable.
really wound me up the wrong way.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one who feels this way. I'm so glad it bothered you too, because it really bothered me.
It really bothered me, and I'm not sure why. I've got a feeling that I know why.
Yeah, and it's probably the same reason I feel it.
It feels like it's a race thing, doesn't it?
A little bit. But it's obviously not, because all the other people who are older than Carla call her Mrs. Connor at work.
And that's a saving part
And that's
of it.
also not her name.
Well, she's not Barlow anymore.
No, but she's also not a Mrs.
That's true.
It should be Ms. Connor.
I really wanted to see Swain with the therapist again.
I did too. I hope we do.
So I really enjoyed those scenes the other week. And it's far easier to sympathise with Swain when you see what has happened in those meetings. Just to hear a report back what happened or how hard it was. We didn't really see it.
We don't even see her outside the house.
No.
She's just in the house wearing a blue sweatshirt, hoodie with strings, and sweatpants with a ponytail.
Yeah, good enough. All right, we'll move on to the girls. On Monday, Sally speaks to the girls and a suddenly polite Brodie to tell them that they've got the all clear to visit Lou.
Where did this Brodie come from?
Brodie has no plans to visit, but the girls are on board, planning to say that Brodie's ill. At prison, Lou sees through the excuse immediately and then sends the kids off to play. They're in a prison.
Go play in the prison.
Well, she speaks to Sally. Go play with the prisoners. Turns out Lou has a lawyer in mind who she hopes can get her off.
But not like that.
She's going to plead not guilty.
What?
And she asks Sally for the money to pay for this lawyer. When Sally chokes on her saliva and explains that she doesn't have money for this, Lou suggests a loan. Fuck that, says Sally, and she quickly ushers the girls away after they've exchanged 10 words with their mother. Good visit.
Yes, and the social worker says nothing. She just looms in the background.
On Wednesday, Shanice is a fucking delight.
Oh my God, how cute was she? Mocking Tim for his male pattern baldness. She's so cute. I just want to eat her up because she's so cute.
Yep. As she and Johnny make cakes with Tim, Shanice licks the bowl, which disgusts Sally. It's a delightful wee scene as they all take the piss out of Tim's baldy head.
It's like a scene around here.
They get netters. Cheeky, says Tim. And when Tim says cheeky, Shanice loves it.
Yeah, she laughs. It's so cute.
She loves Tim.
It's
She
so
clearly
cute.
loves Tim.
Who would not love Tim? If you were a wee girl and you had a Tim in your life, you would be in heaven.
This version of Tim is phenomenal.
So cute.
This is
Love him. Love him to bits.
This is a great thing to happen to Tim and Sally.
Right, yes. Tim finally gets to parent wee girls.
And he does
he's
so
good
job.
at it. So good.
It's like he was born to do it. They get notice from the social worker that Lou now intends to plead guilty after all, and this time Brodie agrees when Sally talks about going for a visit. At the visit, once more, Lou is more interested in talking to Sally than her kids. Lou asks her to keep the kids away from prison while she serves her time. She doesn't want to see them on the regular. She doesn't want them to get used to seeing her all banged up. Sally who's been locked up herself, let's remember, understands and tells her to be strong. She'll get through this, and she promises to look after the kids. Lou appreciates their friendship, though she never deserved it.
That's very true.
Another great visit.
Yes, very true. Were they friends?
No, not really.
She's like, Sal, you've always been so good to me. And I'm like, has she?
She's looked
been
after
good
the kids.
to your kids. But have you ever hung out with her?
No.
With-out the kids?
No.
I don't think so. Do you know how friendship works, Lou?
On Friday, Sally's got Tim doing exams as Joni and Shanice are playing prisoner and screw, just like Mummy. Sally is angry at this because it seems Joni is bullying her sister. So Tim intervenes and suggests they play taxi drivers instead. So Joni starts doing a decent Robert De Niro impression. And let's draw a veil over that joke.
Right, yes. So Joni is the taxi driver and Shanice is Taylor Swift.
Yes. Yes, not in the joke. In the show.
In the show, she's Taylor Swift, and
she loves that idea.
They both seem to love that idea. Joni just starts pretending that she's driving a car, and
she's 27 years old,
and Shanice starts singing "Blank Space," baby.
Thank you for mimicking driving there, which also works for mimicking milking a cow.
No, that's more like this.
Brody comes in, and he's suddenly nice.
Again!
Sally and Tim tell him about the incident with the prisoner game and Sally's reaction, but Brody doesn't think it's a big deal, as wee Shanice is happy as a pig in shite. Later, though, Shanice and Joni are arguing loudly, and Brody, who's a good guy now, tells them that if they don't play ball with Sally and Tim, they'll end up in care. Meanwhile, Tim tries to organise some hours at the garage with Carol for Brody next week, and when he tells Brody about this, Brody's quite happy about it.
Well,
that's as far as we get with that this week.
First he says, I ain't no charity case. And Tim's like, well, no, obviously not, because you'll actually be working.
Right.
Have you met Kev?
Yeah. So Brody's nice now. This is the main point I'm taking from this, is that Brody's nice now.
Right, yes. Brody's nice now. And we're all supposed to forget how horrible Brody has been in the past.
As recently as last week.
Correct. Yes.
He was Brody 5 passports, remember?
Yes. Yes. Apparently, being completely removed from both of his parents has miraculously worked.
Now, he did say when his sisters accused him of not doing anything for them, he said, well, I got you those sweeties, didn't I?
Uh-huh.
I said, well, you stole them.
Right.
So, and nobody cared. So
yeah,
Sal just laughed it off.
Laughed.
So
she picks her battles, that Sal.
Sure. I got the impression that this isn't really much of an act that Brody's putting on. It feels like he knows that he's got it actually pretty sweet here. Sally's making him hot chocolate and stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever made him anything.
Right,
or so it seems.
Nobody's yelling and screaming.
His sisters are really content and happy.
Nobody's threatening somebody else with their lives. You know, both of his parents have basically told him to fuck off.
Nobody's staggering and drunk.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and he does look like he's had a wash.
He's had a shower at Sally's.
Yes. And brushed his hair.
So are we now supposed to just forget because he's a good big brother? Do you know what? I feel like I'm pretty close to just forgetting.
What does it say about us that it would take practically nothing to redeem Brody, and we're only just now okay with Lauren?
I'm such a misogynist.
And apparently so am I. Those women on the internet were right.
Well, a stopped clock.
Anyway, yeah, I'm not totally buying Brody's act completely. But, you know, all it took was Sally and Tim to totally redeem Mason. So maybe this is it. If you want to redeem someone, they either have to get close to Aadi or Sally and Tim. And then they're redeemed.
It does feel that way, that if Lauren, when she was racist Kelly, had gone to live with Sally and Tim, or had struck up a relationship with Aadi early doors, that her redemption story would have kind of filled in its own blanks.
So what we're
almost.
saying is it's all Max's fault. Which was already
Yeah, Max
true.
didn't really help because Max was the sort of natural born killers kind of relationship.
Right.
that-
He was very codependent and enabling,
Mm-hmm.
and also was racist as well, and also was someone that racist Kelly was manipulating after being coached by her father on sleeping with Max, which is just the grossest sentence I think I've ever said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nice to have wholesome people in the show.
I don't think I'm happy with me, though.
No. I'm not happy with you either.
I think I really should be more mistrusting of people, especially male children.
Yes. Well, you are in real life, so,
Yeah,
it balances out.
I need to work on that some more. All right,
Anyway,
we'll move on to Sam's trauma. On Wednesday, it's Audrey's birthday.
Yes!
Another trip around the sun for Audrey.
yes, this means that the Platts are all going to sit around a table at the bistro together.
You can write it yourself.
Yes.
And Audrey is going to get pashed.
Yes, she is.
David's organised a birthday tea where?
At the bistro.
Would you believe? Audrey would like a jump-on kit when Sarah's done with him, but reckons that there's a price to pay for a good-looking man. No one cares that Kit's had a shot on Shona.
Right, yeah, except for David.
Who very much cares.
Which was hilarious.
At the bistro later, as Audrey gets her presents, there's a bit of tension between Sam and that random wee lassie from last week that's shown up again. So much so that Sam leaves and goes to the office and no one asks where he's going. He just walks off. Later.
He's like me at your leaving party in Scotland when 50 people showed up and I panicked and hid in the bathroom.
Later, the Platts are bickering and are about to get the cake, but where's Sam? He loves a bit of cake. He's hiding under the desk in the office like he's waiting for an atomic bomb to go off. Leanne finds him and wonders what the fuck he's doing. Sam explains how much he's struggling.
Why is Leanne there? Why is Leanne there? What are you doing? David, did you invite her? What is she doing there? She's just there to buy expensive plunk for Audrey
and to make Toya look bad.
Wind Toya up.
Mm-hmm.
She shouldn't be there.
Leanne finds him and wonders what the fuck he's doing. Sam explains how much he's struggling and everything's getting on top of him, and he feels better alone and he feels safe. Says Leanne.
That's the right response. That's exactly how you should feel, Sam.
Back at the table, Sam and Lily are still uneasy together, with Sam on the verge of tears.
Is that Lily?
Yeah, as Leanne insists how traumatised he is and how Lily owes Sam an apology, or should have been kinder at least. David and Shona, Team Lily, obviously, and they say that she didn't do anything wrong, but Nick, Leanne and Toya all agree that this is bullshit and Lily let Sam down. The birthday girl, Audrey, is loving this entertainment, and this seems to make Lily smirk a bit too.
Yeah. They all need to gather around the computer, and you can log into work, and they can sit and watch the CPS on what to do with an active shooter in the building. Which is hilarious because he wasn't even an active shooter. He didn't have a weapon on him, did he? He was just a big, mean, scary man who's murdered people without a weapon.
My CBT is called boiling point.
Oh, yes.
Or trigger point. Is it trigger point? Trigger point.
I think one part is trigger point, but then there's also boiling point. Because boiling point is the one where the guy walks in and he seems upset and then something puts him over the edge, which is the boiling point.
So on Friday, Lily is on the best behaviour so she can get some PlayStation time.
They only have a PlayStation? They don't have a PlayStation 5?
I think the number's implied. David
Never
agrees.
implied.
They've got a GameCube. David agrees, but asks her to apologise to Sam first, and she agrees that she'll do that. When Sam comes round, she doesn't apologise.
Nope.
And they play something that isn't Scrabble, but looks like Scrabble instead. When Shona goes off for another game.
And Sam beats the shit out of both Shona and Lily at this game because Lily doesn't know that macabre is a word.
Right. Lily says she's glad that she locked Sam out of the classroom, and she does it with some sass. She says Sam should have found another classroom and then calls him a pussy for crying about it. In the pub, Nick and David are talking about how untrustworthy air fryers are when they decide to go home and see the lay of the land. And the lay of the land is fucked up. And Sam is pissed that Lily left him for dead. David insists on having a private word with Sam and ushers everyone out. The basis of David's pep talk is bitches be crazy. Just apologise and everything will go back to normal. But Sam doesn't think he has anything to apologise for.
Right, and also that he needs to stand by his truth. Yeah.
And he refuses. Well, in that case, you must never give up, says David, and give as good as you get, but it'll get messy. And he begs for peace rather than war.
Does he remember what family he's in?
Right. When the others get back, Sam offers to sign up with the Eco Summer Camp with Lily tomorrow, and she somewhat reluctantly agrees. What is Sam planning? And that's as far as we get with that this week.
I understand why Sam is traumatized. I also understand that this is like the second time that Lily has locked him out of her room, only this time she doesn't have a lollipop.
Oh, God. No way you remembered that.
I did.
You read that somewhere.
No! And then she chokes on the lollipop.
I remember
that?
I remember that. I'm amazed that you remember that.
If she had followed the directions on the computer-based training for lockdown correctly, she wouldn't have just locked the door. She would have gotten away from the door and hid instead of standing right there at the door.
Right.
So she did make a mistake, but it wasn't locking the door. It was standing by the door so that the active shooter could see her and shoot her through the door.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it wasn't an active shooter situation.
And granted, she hasn't had that CBT.
Right. Because she doesn't live in America. But
Sam makes a great point, though. It's like
they both... I wish she wasn't so sassy about it. I think that is the problem. If she had said, look, I'm sorry, but I was scared and there were other rooms available, that would make sense. But her to say, I'm not sorry,
and this is your fault for not finding another room.
It's your fault for being stupid when clearly we've just demonstrated that Sam is not the stupid one here because he knows the word macabre exists.
Do you think that has made matters worse, that Lily's made to feel stupid? Considering
recent history when I have interacted with people in my life who aren't as intelligent as I am, yes.
So very humble. And Nick says he lost his mum.
Right.
In this very building to a shooter.
Right.
It's understandable that he's traumatized by
that would trigger his PTSD. Yes, and also the fact that Lily has locked him out of someplace before.
But if he had, and I wonder if Lily's taken the choking on my lollipop CBT. But if there's a way of doing something or saying the same words and saying them in a caring and loving way, and then saying them in a kind of hateful and spiteful sort of way. Because she could have said, I'm sorry, Sam, I'm not sorry for what I did because I was so scared and I had to look after myself.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm sorry that you didn't think to run to another
building, another room,
classroom.
Yeah. Like the one directly across the hallway.
But I understand why you're upset about this, but I didn't do it deliberately to upset you.
Right.
Or put you in danger.
But now it seems like she did do it intentionally to put him into danger.
It totally sounds that way, like she somehow orchestrated Mick to arrive at the school. Which I wouldn't put it past her.
Is it bad that I missed the old Lily?
Well, the old Lily wasn't quite as nasty as this. In fact, she wasn't really nasty. Was she nasty at all? I don't think she was.
She did lock him out of...
That one time.
onto the balcony. She locked him onto the balcony. What if he had to pee? But then she choked on a lollipop and that made it better. Because it was karma.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not warming to Lily's new head as quickly as I warmed to Max's new head. Is this misogyny again?
Probably. But it's because the head has coincided with a personality change, I think.
Yeah, Because, I mean, the old Lily was sassy, but she wasn't cruel.
No.
Because the whole lollipop thing, that was being sassy. You know.
Yeah. All right. We'll move on to our last storyline tonight. Sucks to be a Webster.
It really does.
On Monday, someone's given Carla kicking, sadly off camera. This is what we were promised in our spoiler show last week, that Carl gets a kicking, and I was kind of hoping we were going to get to see it.
Every time you say Carl, I think you're talking about Carla.
That's the way I speak. You're just going to have to deal with it. At the garage, Abby wants to know what happened, but Carl doesn't want to make a fuss and says that he walked into a punching wall. Debbie's caught by surprise when Ronnie reminds her that her health and safety inspection is today, but Ryan insists that she's got it all in hand, it'll be fine. And later, Debbie's dealing with a customer complaint by shouting at them while the customer records the interaction. "Suck my balls," screams Debbie.
She tells this woman to bite her on camera.
And she storms off.
And she does not fucking give a shit.
Nope.
I kind of like it.
Later, Ryan reveals that he got the customer to delete the footage by plying her with vouchers, and Debbie is so thrilled she plants a kiss on an unsuspecting Ryan, who immediately seems to read way too much into it.
Just a wee bit.
It was a friendly kiss, wasn't it? It wasn't a passionate kiss.
But
it maybe lasted half a second too long.
How would you feel if your boss or your coworker planted one on your lips?
Well, Nathan and I are fairly close, but not that close.
No. It seemed a fairly innocent kiss, but it was not something that you expected. It was interesting, though, because when Debbie storms off, the woman looks at Ryan like she's shocked and kind of concerned for Debbie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't believe that happened.
Right.
Sort of thing. And not like delighted that she's going to post it like immediately about, and to get lots of likes for it.
Later, Carl runs into Debbie and Nina's Rolls and hits her up for a loan for an unspecified amount. And Debbie talks about a bank transfer, but we don't see what happens next. And I think it turns out that nothing happened next. Meanwhile, Ryan has been reading up on dementia and decides to tell Ronnie about what happened with the kiss. Debbie wanders over at this and is shocked that Ryan interpreted it that way and demonstrates almost accurately on Ronnie what happened, with very much a peck on the lips.
Right. You still don't kiss your employees, even if it's just a peck on the lips.
And even in the service industry.
Right. Yes. Especially in the service industry. And also, in fairness to Ryan, loss of inhibitions is part of dementia.
Mm-hmm. Ryan and Ronnie start talking about the research Ryan's been doing, so Debbie says, "I'm going to fuck off now and leave you two experts to it." Ronnie tries to apologise for Ryan, but this just seems to put Debbie in an angrier mood. So Ryan makes a bad choice going to speak to Debbie himself and continues to patronise her with his research talk, and so ends up getting himself fired. Back at the garage.
I didn't feel like he was being patronising. I think he was genuinely trying to explain to her that, that he was looking it up to be helpful and out of concern and not to be patronising.
I think if I was Debbie, when he kept on going on about research, I'd have been getting fairly patronised, because what he means by that is, I googled dementia. It's not really research.
Well, we don't know how many articles he read and what reputable websites they were on.
I think hardly any and none. Back at the garage, Carl confesses to Abby that he's up to his tits in debt to keep his German business, Volkswagen, afloat. And it was these ruffians who beat him up. That's a Volkswagen joke. Hopefully, though, Debbie will come through for him. Abby takes Carol's hands, because they do that now apparently, and says that she'd hate for something to happen to him. But when Carl and Debbie meet in the pub later, she's shocked at how much he needs. It's 50 fucking grand. I don't have that money just to give to you.
Right.
And he says, you were about to buy a house with it. Yeah, buy me a house.
Yes. That's a return on investment eventually.
Debbie can't help him, and Carl is crushed. And then he gets a text.
Like Rana.
Then he gets a text from his loan shark that he wants his fucking money back. On Wednesday, Debbie goes round
Did you find that text from the loan shark disappointing?
Yes.
It wasn't very threatening at all.
Can I please have my money back?
TikTok. You don't stop.
This is on TikTok? I'm sorry. I'm still a Vines man.
Right. Yeah. It should read something like, I need my money now or you're dead.
Right.
Or
Capiche?
say goodbye to your kneecaps. You'll be sleeping with the fishes. See?
Yeah. Can I have my money back, please?
TikTok.
TikTok. Doesn't really do it. On Wednesday, Debbie goes round to Carla's to view the flat, but is disappointed to meet Ryan there. Ryan makes
Who lives there?
Makes a big deal about getting fired yesterday, but Debbie makes a big deal of how much effort she put in to pull the rape hotel out of the Ray Weinstein shadow. Nice to get a Ray Weinstein
Nice to get a Ray
mention.
Weinstein mention. Is it not hilarious that to determine whether or not her couch will fit in a room, she measures Carla's couch instead of, I don't know, the room? She's like, I don't think my couch is going to fit in here. Because it's bigger than this couch.
Ryan says that he loved his job, but Debbie is unmoved. Lesson learned, don't patronise your boss. Ryan hopes that her next assistant manager sees the big picture. And Debbie throws something at him in his own house. Debbie goes to the pub and gets stuck into Lauren for being a sour-faced cow, so Lauren retaliates and tells her that word on the street is that her hotel is hemorrhaging staff and gives her a piece of her mind about Ryan.
Right, because the show has remembered that Lauren and Ryan are friends.
Yep, until Lauren tried to blackmail him that time. Carla intervenes and tells Debbie that Ryan cares about her, and as her condition worsens, she's going to need as many people like Ryan in her corner as possible.
Hey, Lauren may have tried to blackmail him, but she never got him drunk and then sexually assaulted him.
That's true. So Ryan looks back quite fondly on that interaction.
Exactly.
Back at the Rape Hotel, Ryan comes to collect the rest of his stuff, but Debbie stops him, calls him a brilliant friend, and gives him his job back. Debbie says she'll need Ryan in the months to come, and when she makes a joke about forgetting this incident happened, it upsets Ryan, who starts to cry.
He does.
And then Debbie's maybe trying not to cry a little bit, and then I'm crying a little bit.
And they're hugging.
And then the two of them hug. And I'm happier about this than I was about Ronnie.
And the way that they're focusing on Ryan's face, on the good side of Ryan's face.
Yeah.
Although both sides, if you squint, look the same now. But just the look on his face just broke my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Remember when he first joined the show and we mocked the way he pretended to be drunk?
And with cause.
With cause, yes. And look at him now. Look at him now, all these years later.
I maintain that the acid attack storyline, his portrayal of being burned,
Yeah.
deeply affected me. And just thinking about it makes me feel quite uneasy.
Oh, absolutely.
He did that so well.
Yeah.
And when they give him something like this that's a little bit meatier to work with, when he says to her, don't, oh, that's it. I'm gone at that point. When he says don't talk about losing your mind or forgetting something, which is easier for me to do, says Debbie. Oh, don't joke about this.
Yeah.
It's kind of reminds me of my mum making jokes about her lung cancer.
Right. Which is what you do when you have cancer.
Sure, but
or dementia.
It's difficult to hear,
Yeah.
but all things considered,
Look, I'm crying now just
thinking
thinking about
you
that
are.
scene.
just thinking about it.
Oh, and I love the relationship that they have, you know, because Ryan has Carla, and that's it. Because his mom is gone, his pretend brother is gone, Bobby is gone, Daisy is gone. He and Alia don't really talk very much anymore, which is a shame. So it's just, he's got Carla and he's got Debbie. And that's it.
And I think maybe that's why it hurt him so much
Yeah.
to lose one of them.
Yes, absolutely. And I think Debbie is very much kind of a mother figure for him in many ways.
Even though she cooks up insurance jobs and
Right.
stuff that gives him any bother.
Yes, but still.
But she took care of him.
She did.
On Friday, Abby's back from the lakes with a new leather jacket and makeup. She's surprised to see Carla and Tyrone working on an MOT. According to Abby, Kev's at chemo right now and she's off to keep him company, so Tyrone shits himself and sends her off to buy an emergency fan belt to keep her busy.
Emergency fan belt.
Later, Tyrone goes back to his house where Kev is hiding out to give him a piece of his mind about not telling Abby the truth still. Kev claims that he couldn't on account of him being a deplorable human being.
What would have happened if Fizz or one of the girls had walked in to
Well,
see
that's what
Kev
Kev
just
says.
kind of looming by the sink?
Kev says, I shot myself because I thought you were Fizz. So at least they addressed it. In the Gunnel, Carl meets up with Fiona and arranges with her to steal the fancy Merc at the garage. But this is all seen but not clearly overheard by Kev. So when Fiona gets to the garage for the Merc, which she's stealing herself by the looks of things, Kev sees her driving off in it. He takes a turn when he gives chase, and luckily Glenda's there to call him an ambulance.
Kev, you're an ambulance.
Now, Glenda didn't call him an ambulance, but I couldn't resist.
I just love Glenda running out of the Rovers, just and manhandling Kev to the hospital, like just absolutely taking charge. Put your arm around me, and he doesn't even argue.
So what they're going to do? Kev's got his arm round her, and Glenda's going to walk him to the hospital when he can't breathe. I guess that's what we're saying happened.
She secretly is Wonder Woman. She's just going to pick him up and just carry him.
Fucking Glenda. Love Glenda.
Love her so much.
Later, Glenda finds Abby and Jack at the precinct. Jack's already worried about his dad when Glenda explains what happened.
He's not worried, however, about pretending that one of his legs is fake.
Dear God. But despite Glenda telling Abby what happened, it's Carl who shows up at the hospital to see Kev. He's pissed off because he knows about the stolen car. Well, it turns out Carl's been getting personal medical information from a chatty nurse about Kev.
Apparently,
and
there's
knows that
no
his cancer's
privacy
been
act
gone
here.
for weeks, and he hasn't been doing chemo for ages. Oh, pig's tits, says Kev. He says he was worried about losing Abby and how everything has gone tits up since Carl showed up. And he knows Carl's been up to dodgy shit and invites him to come clean, so Carl does come clean. And Kev is fucking furious. He threatens to go to the police, but Carl points out that it's his name on the MOT, and he'll tell Abby about the cancer, and that's him fucked. Who's fucked? Says Abby, who just wanders in, but Carl and Kev play it down. Back home, despite Kev keeping quiet about the car to the police, Carl wants to still grass Kev up to Abby, and Kev decides there and then to thank Carl because now he knows that he has no brother anymore. Carl is dead to him. And that is how we end this week's episodes.
Yep. So now Carl has no reason to not grass Kev up.
None whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
He never did.
He never really... No, he didn't. But Kev has just kind of put the nail in his own coffin here by saying, I have no brother.
Because what's that going to do? Make Carl say, well, I guess I'll
keep your secret then.
Right. To be your brother again?
Stupid.
But I guess this is finally Kev treating Carl like he should.
Yeah.
Carl's a stranger.
And an asshole.
I mean, sure, he might be a good looking guy, but that's about all he's got going for him.
And that's debatable. I don't understand why you think this man is adorable, because
Jack,
he's
I didn't
not.
say he was adorable. Jack says that he's worried about Kev, and this is without Jack knowing that the fictitious cancer's come back.
Right.
So this is all going to be putting pressure on Abby to tell Kev or to tell Jack about Kev, and it's coming to a head.
It's getting messier and messier as time goes by.
Mm-hmm.
And I want Abby and Kev to break up. Don't get me wrong.
Everyone does.
It is a terrible, terrible relationship. Abby gets nothing from this man except, gaslighting constantly. Constantly. He is not a good partner.
You've sunk to a new low. If you say that to your wife once, I don't think that's a great look. He's kind of said that a few times to her.
And also...
And insinuated it to her.
And also accused her of sleeping with Ronnie.
And is continually accusing her of being back on the muck.
Seriously. Seriously, the sooner she's done with him, the better.
But
jumping immediately into bed with his younger brother, I don't feel like that's a good look either. And I don't understand, because there doesn't seem... He says shit to her that shouldn't work on Abby, and yet it does.
No, it's especially... Given Abby's history and what she knows about life and people, I think she sees through Carol's bullshit quite easily. Abby is a beautiful woman. If you're going to leave your husband, I think maybe you're going to go a little bit further afield. Maybe not shutting your own doorstep, so to speak. But she could go... She doesn't have to drop everything for the first guy that shows her the slightest bit of attention.
Right, yes, but sadly Imran is dead.
Oh, true. Imran got a mention this week as well.
Yeah.
Or maybe she does. Maybe that is something in her character that
anybody who is slightly nice to her has got to be the greatest guy ever.
Which was almost in her racist Kelly days. That was almost her worldview a little, as she demonstrated with Roy.
Yeah.
That any kindness is mistaken for something else.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of fucked up and sad, I guess.
Yes.
What's this nurse doing? Just telling Carl personal information about Kev?
Well, in fairness to her, Carl may be a person on his list of people who are allowed to ask questions and get answers.
Well, maybe.
You know, because you go to the doctor, and with your privacy information, you have to make a list of people who are allowed to ask questions.
That's true.
I have 3 people.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. One of them's you.
What? I wouldn't trust me with that. That's far too much responsibility.
It's you, my mum, and Nick.
So your mum then. It's getting to critical mass now, the weight of the lies and the secrets and stuff that something's going to have to give. And this sucks to be Webster story has been going for so long and just accumulating all this baggage. It feels like the quicker this can happen, the better. When we've come from such worthy places along the line here where Kev was seemingly finding a new part of himself in the knowledge that he might die soon, and having cancer was something that was going to change his character and change his outlook, and that seems like so long ago.
What? Kev was going to have character development? Mm-hmm. You shock me. You shock me, Broom. You shock me. Yeah, it sucks because it did seem like it was going to go that way. And then they were like, nah, we're just going to make this even worse for everybody involved because apparently the show thinks that we enjoy watching people being miserable. But
it's the Debbie stuff.
Yeah.
That keeps the interest in this.
Absolutely. We're not watching this for Kev.
Because even though what Debbie was doing for quite a bit of Wednesday and Monday was not really helping the situation, God, that scene with Ryan just made up for it.
Yes. No scene with Kev makes up for it.
Not really.
Not ever.
What happened to the guy whose MOT on a car that he bought, he knew was false, and his car basically fell to bits and he was going to go to the police? That was the start of June, I think. And nothing's happened about it.
He just skulked away, never to be seen again. That's the show we watch.
Oh, well, that was the week that was Coronation Street then. Helen, tell me, what was your moment of the week?
Like you need to ask me. Like you need to ask me. Debbie and Ryan making up.
So...
Ryan's face.
So beautiful.
Oh, my God.
When was the last time we described a scene in Coronation Street as beautiful? It doesn't feel like this happens very often. It does feel like we do have some really special moments.
Yeah.
This felt like it was just so rooted in truth.
Yeah. And the way that you understand the relationship between Ryan and Debbie, just from how devastated Ryan is by all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And you only know this because of one word and then his face.
Yep.
That's acting.
Moment of the week.
Moment of the week.
And our boring moment of the week.
Platt's trying to one-up one another with presents for Audrey and talking very specifically about the presents for Audrey and the fact that the two people who do this the most are Toya and Leanne, who shouldn't even be there. The whole thing with that bottle of whatever it was that Leanne got her, and the way she was like, oh, I called Gail, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Leanne, why are you sitting at this table?
Was that boring, though?
Who invited you? It felt boring. You think it's something else, don't you?
See, for me, it was the poor kids having to visit the prison and not speak to their mum.
See, it's so hard. It's so hard when Daniel's not on the show.
I know.
Or Chesney. But mostly Daniel.
Was it Magic Mike?
No.
Was it Chauvin Mike?
Chauvin Mike. Jeez Louise, how tough is it to find something that was boring?
Elvis Candle?
You know what? Fine. Let's give it to Elvis Candle.
Well, I don't think our heart's in this.
No.
It's not really the boring moment of the week, but we've got to give it to something. Elvis Candle.
Boring moment of the week.
And the way that Theo was like, oh, well, we can just buy her another one. And Todd saying, I don't think they make them anymore. As if there isn't a huge industry that just sells crap with Elvis's face on it.
Right.
That's like saying, oh, I don't think we can buy something with Marilyn Monroe's face on it ever again. Oh, dear.
Get on the internet, Todd. I know you know what it is.
Yay!
Alright, this is the Game Is section where we ask our Twitter followers to rank the show and let us know what they thought about this week's episodes. And the results this week were 32.9%, meh 41.2%, and yay 25.9%. So a fairly middling week. Sarah says, too much mumbling. Theo, Aadi, Ryan, so difficult to understand. Audrey's grandkids giving her cards, etc. in the salon bugged me. Some scenes seeming to end abruptly. I thought we got rid of Leanne's cult, and now we've got another one. Anne says, too much Todd and Theo and their lack of chemistry. Ooh, I don't know if I agree with that.
He does have better chemistry with James, but you didn't hear it from me.
But later, Sally, Tim, and the girls, more of them, please. Very much agree with that.
Absolutely. I second place for moment of the week, I think, is Tim's baldy head.
Yes. Laws says, a Theo and Carla heavy week that I haven't enjoyed. Also not sure why we have to have an evil Lily. That's another good point. Yeah, I think I like the portrayal of Theo because I believe the portrayal of Theo, but I can see why it comes across as maybe a bit wooden, but it's meant to.
Right, yeah.
But I don't know that
He's
makes...
an awkward guy with nice guns.
Yeah.
The good kind of guns.
And hundreds of vests. We don't let those results influence us in any way, though, Helen. So what is your score out of 10 this week?
You know what? I thought this was a fairly good week. It didn't bother me too much. And
despite anything you've said in the last hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, no, it was a good week.
Yeah, I thought it was decent.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 7.
A 7? I'm going to give it a 6.
Oh. I liked it more than you did.
Think you did?
That doesn't happen very often.
It really doesn't. Oh well. Let's wrap this one up then. Whew. I'm taking a run at this. This episode was brought to you with thanks to our friends of the podcast. Daisy, French Helen, Pickles, DT, Wendy, Noel, Canadian Helen, Christy, Shandy, English Victoria, Aurora Yvonne, Heather Westerfield, Russell Whiting, Jackie B, Brittany Porter, Laurie Anna, Tina, Stephen, Leah, Tara J, Fiona B, Canadian Jennifer, Josephina Tingy, Anne Greenwood, Trish R, Sarah Purbrick, Alison Quinlan, Hunker Munker, Darren, and the artist formerly known as Steal My Fridge. It's going to take a little bit of time just to get into the rhythm of that.
I think what we're going to have to do in the future is that you read one and I read one, and you read one and I read one, and you read one and I read one.
Yeah, I get the idea.
Yeah, something like that.
If you've ever wrestled someone to the ground in a community centre, write in to tell us about it. We're the talkofthestreet@gmail.com, and we're at Corrie Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Threads and Blue Sky. Or you can reach us the old-fashioned way, the Talk of the Street, P.O. Box 12, Eaton Rapids, Michigan, 48827. You can shout me and Helen a coffee or become a friend of the podcast by heading to ko-fi.com, that's ko-fi.com/the Talk of the Street, or patreon.com/the Talk of the Street. Check out voggle.co.uk for links to our merch store, YouTube channel and blog. And if you're so inclined, please leave a rating and a review on the iTunes or your podcast provider of choice. And be sure to check out our pop culture sister podcast, The List of Lists.
I still hate Paul McCartney.
Thanks for making it to the end of another episode, and we will be back next week with more
Talk of the Street.
The Talk of the Street.
Bye.
Cheerio.